There, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the last video for the uploads for today. It has been a full day and I am so glad you've been hanging out with me. I hope that you've had an opportunity also to check out the other two videos that I've dropped today on the platform as well, and definitely have left your thoughts of those videos for me so that way we can talk and communicate about it. So as you can see, we are going to be diving back into which would now be a really huge update in the Rust story, the situation in which y'all will probably be familiar with. And if you wanted more details as well and haven't had opportunity to get those details or want to just brush up on those things, I have done a few videos in regards to updates along the way in regards to this really unfortunate situation. And that is of the Rust Armor movie that had a individual as part of the team of the movie in the casting area. I think she was a producer as well. I don't want to get the title of her wrong. I'm sure we'll explain it here as well as a reminder to us. But a big pivotal part in the movie, and she was unfortunately unalived through to I'll just say a hot pow on set. As you may know, Alec Baldwin, who is a very well-known actor, has been for quite some time now, is also put in the position of having to explain his actions in regards to that incident, as he was the one that was holding the pow. He's also been to trial and has been acquitted of the charges that were associated in regards to, I believe they're involuntary manslaughter charges, if I am recalling correctly on that. But he wasn't the only one that was also held to some account, but now is the one that we know that's been held to full responsibility. In other words, she was not only charged, she was convicted and had a sentence. And it looks like now, as time flies by so quickly, Armorer, I say that right, it come out right. Sometimes the R and M's just, they just do what they want to do. But Armorer, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, is apparently now been released from prison. So this will be interesting to see how her path goes. She may, continue to stay quiet within her life, and we may never hear from her again. Or it may be she may be brought up into a situation later on, as there is a civil lawsuit going on right now from the family against Alec Baldwin, and because their feelings were made very known in that surrounding information. I definitely did a video on that, so make sure you check out that video on the platform as well to get the details about that civil lawsuit. And of course, I'm going to be continuing to keep abreast of what's going on as I've been so far, and just providing updates as things change crucially through this particular case, because it is not done yet. So with that, we're going to go ahead and dive into this particular sharing about Hannah, the Armorer, that has now been released. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So this sharing is actually coming to us by way of CBS News. It says, Rust Armorer Hannah Gutierrez-Reed released from prison after serving 13 months. Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, the Armorer, who was working on the Western movie Rust when the film cinematographer Helena Hutchins was unalived in an on-set powwowing in 2021. Of course, we've got to change a few of the words just to keep it YouTube friendly. She was released from prison Friday after 13 months after her involuntary manslaughter conviction, New Mexico officials have said. Now, in March of 2024, Gutierrez-Reed was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter in connection with Hutchinson's passing and sentenced to 18 months in prison the following month. At the time, she was acquitted of a second charge of evidence tampering. Now, the parole board of the state of New Mexico granted Gutierrez-Reed parole Friday, according to parole certificate provided to CBS News. That parole runs through May 23rd, 2026. Her certificate said she is required to follow the conditions set forth by the board, some of which include electric monitoring, following a curfew, and either getting a job or enrolling in school. Now, Gutierrez-Reed was paroled to Arizona and ordered to report there immediately, according to the certificate. She received the maximum penalty for her part in the October 2021 tragedy when actor Alec Baldwin discharged live rounds from a prop pow on the movie set during a rehearsal, unaliving Kitchens and wounding the film's director, Joel Salza, who doesn't, by the way, get a lot of coverage. Every now and again we may hear him brought up, but I like to make sure that that's also pointed that there was another individual that was also harmed in this situation. A tragedy which shook the Hollywood community, and several experts said the death of Hutchins, who had a young son, was entirely preventable. The most tragic of it all, right? Prosecutors cited Gutierrez-Reed's lack of contrition during the trial as one reason to impose a maximum sentence. During her sentencing, she said she was young and naive when she started working on Russ. Your Honor, when I took on Russ, I was young and naive, but I took my job as seriously as I knew how to, Gutierrez-Reed told the judge. I beg you, please don't give me more time. The jury has found me in part at fault for this horrible tragedy, but that doesn't make me a monster. That makes me human. Baldwin went to trial in July 2024 on an involuntary manslaughter charge in the deadly unaliving or powwowing as well. But in a remarkable series of events during trial, the judge dismissed the case with prejudice after the defense team accused prosecutors of withholding evidence. And so that pretty much sums up the sharing there. That is that, although Alec Baldwin was able to, basically avert the situation of being found guilty and doing any prison time or jail time for this particular situation, being charged at all. He is now going through the civil lawsuit situation. So not knowing if a settlement's going to come through or not, or if they're going to continue to move forward with that proceedings. But again, I will definitely be keeping you abreast of that as updates come for that as well. But what do you think about Hannah, being released? It appears that she didn't do the full 18 months, which is not expected. You always think that there's going to be some time shedded off. And in this case, it was for her. She did the full 13 months that she was, required to do. But of course, she is on parole, being paroled, and will be on there until the custody of Arizona until May of 2026. So, not really completely free, and definitely not going to be free of mind and free of, I'm sure, thought and emotion in regards to what took place. It's unfortunate that this situation happened. A lot of us are perplexed, me for sure. Don't understand why there was even a situation like this that has occurred. We have had other situations that have happened on set that this should have been a lesson learned prior to this even happening. So I totally agree with the fact that this was so preventable. Don't understand why there was anything remotely of a situation that this could have even happened. When we say prop, why are there live rounds? Why is there a situation? Now, yes, projectiles can cause, situations as well. However, in this case, we need to know more about why it is that those things happen and what took place. Now, will we know more? Maybe not. I mean, I'm sure the transcripts was pretty thorough during Hannah's trial, as well as maybe Alec Baldwin's as well. But definitely Alec did, get out of the situation in that perspective. But, this I'm sure haunts him as well. But one of the things that I think of mostly really is about the family of Halyna Hutchins and Joel Salza. I mean, don't know really what's going on with Joel at this point. I hope that he has recovered fully, but I mean, really, is he going to recover fully? Emotionally, probably not, right? But physically, I do hope for sure, and I hope whatever help that he is needed to get, continues to get, and he becomes whole throughout his journey. That also being said, for Halyna's family, my heart goes out to them. I mean, that is so just unspeakable, to deal with the fact that, you see your family member and 1 minute and then the next minute it's all over, right? And so I always say, hold your loved ones tight and say I love you, and do your best to not leave things unsaid, because you just never know when an opportunity will turn into a tragedy. And in this case, I'm sure Helena, being a cinematographer, this was a really big deal for her, and this was going to probably set her course in a really big way. She was already known someone in the industry, but I think this would have taken off even more for her. Pretty sure it would have undoubtedly been a really good movie. But now, I mean, at the end of the day, will it be released? I think that they were talking about they were going to continue to move forward with it. I personally don't know how you really could, because it was such a tragic situation attached to it. Now, it's not the only type of piece of artwork, if you will, that has gone and continued to move on when a tragic situation has happened. But considering the circumstances and considering what took place and how it took place and what happened subsequently, I don't know if this is one that really should hit the screens. I would like to know your thoughts, though. So if you do have any in regards to this situation, definitely throw those down respectfully in the comment section below, because I'd love to know if you think that this is a movie that should continue on, or should they go ahead and just scrap it and move forward from it. It's a horrible situation that happened. It will never go away. I don't personally think that doing the movie is going to memorialize her in any kind of way, especially because the family members are not okay with, simply just not okay with, Alec Baldwin not having some more accountability attached to it. And if you catch my video on that lawsuit, the civil lawsuit that the family has brought against him, you'll get to see why. So definitely make sure you check that out to get those details. But at the end of the day, for what this not have taken place, this would not have happened. Right. So these are things that you have to contend with. And I just think about, Helena's son and her family, and just the amount of tragedy this is, and to have such a huge pivotal person in your family life to be gone. It's just nothing short of tragic. And again, just don't understand why this was something that even took place. Why is this something that we're even still dealing with so many years later? I thought after the movie The Crow, with Bruce Lee's son and what had happened with him, with that tragic situation on set, again, with a weaponry situation, I never understand, with a blast that happened, now he's gone. I thought lessons would have been learned. Why are we doing these arbitrary situations? Why are we doing these archaic things? There should be other ways to find out how we could do it to simulate where this kind of stuff doesn't happen. So lots of lessons definitely were learned in this situation. But a lot of loss was too, and unnecessary at that. So with that, I definitely want to know your thoughts. So definitely leave them again below. This again will do it for the videos for today's uploads. But you know what? I'm going to be back tomorrow, because we're going to be covering week 3. Yes, week 3 of Diddy's trial. So I'll be hitting those hot areas and sharing you how the week went. And so I definitely hope you'll be back for that. Definitely, if you haven't had a chance and you have an opportunity to catch up on the first 2 weeks, if you haven't or wanted to see, some of the elements that took place there, feel free to check out my videos that I have on the platform for that. And yeah, so I think with that, I'm going to bid you adieu. I thank you so much for being here, and definitely make sure you have your all notification bell on so you do not miss my future uploads. And I'm going to see you again tomorrow. And so thank you again so much for being here. And of course, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. Yes, be a part of the family. I would so love to have you. And definitely, if you appreciated the update, go ahead and give the video a like. It does help in the algorithm, and I so do appreciate that as well. And of course, thank you so much to all of you that are already part of the family. I appreciate it so much, your viewing and listening support. It means the world to me. I thank you for that. So with that, I'm going to bid you adieu. You take care and be safe, be blessed, and I will see you tomorrow. All right. Bye.